Alrighty, guys, here we are. Trade deadline. Christian. It
How we
went a
doing?
lot. It went a lot crazier than I thought. I can't lie to you. I thought it was going to be a much more chill day.
No, you and I had conversations the night before, and we won't hedge our bets right now, but you were telling me that you thought it was gonna be pretty tame for the most part. I got a little wild with it, but I was right on one and then wrong on the other. But all in all, it's weird because I thought there was gonna be a lot more big name activity if I had to guess.
It does. I mean, there's two huge names already. Obviously the thriller for the day was after about what, like 450 days of Ben Simmons drama. It's finally over. He gets sent over to Brooklyn. Do you have the trade details in front of you?
For the Brooklyn one,
Correct. Yeah.
I believe I do. I have it right. Yeah, I have it.
All right. Give it to the people. Give them what they want.
I mean, right now they're saying that the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, this happened. Brooklyn Nets and Philadelphia Sixers traded away James Harden for Ben Simmons, along with Seth Curry, draft picks, along with Andre Drummond as well. So that's the deal that basically had everybody shook today. That took place. The Nets are going to get the Sixers 2022 first round pick unprotected with a right to defer until the 2023 season, and a 2027 first round pick protected 1 through 8. That's what was told to ESPN, and the 2027 pick would roll over to the 2028 protected 1 to 8 again. The pick turns into 2 seconds and $2 million in 2029. So
That's a lot of. It's crazy how many protections they put on these picks nowadays, man.
it's starting to get no. These teams are getting smart. They're getting smart.
They're not just giving away picks like nothing.
No, absolutely not. So, I mean, good for them that the league is starting to finally catch up. But yeah, that's the trade today that took place.
I know everyone's gonna do winners and losers on trades and stuff like that, especially this one. I promise you, that's the first thing you're gonna hear Stephen A. and whoever's on the desk tomorrow. Who won this trade? And I gotta be honest, man. When I saw it, the real winner of the trade was us. Okay, we can all put to bed
us being
the talking heads, man. Everyone that's been talking about Ben Simmons for like over a year plus Harden with his old mess. It's a whole thing. We can finally put to bed all of our takes, never talk about that saga again. And but even in the parties involved, right? It pretty much seems like everyone got what they wanted somehow.
It does. I'm not sure if you watched the All-Star selection, the two captains,
Hilarious.
KD and LeBron. Great TV, by the way. If you have not watched it, inside the NBA, the panel does a great job hosting the two captains, and they go through their selections of the starters and the reserves. Great theater for us. It's reality TV at its finest. If I'm being completely honest with you, it's one of the better things the NBA has done, making the decision making live. But KD was asked about it. Ernie had to ask, what his initial thoughts were. KD came across and said that he's excited to have guys that want to be here, and they gotta get acclimated to everyone. But he said in the long run, it looks like everybody got what they wanted ultimately. So that was his initial reaction. So it's funny you say that.
Yeah, well, I mean, for James Harden, right? He gets his way again. This is literally within one calendar year's second team he successfully bitched his way out of.
He just hit his the year anniversary was like 2 weeks ago of him joining the Nets. It's only been literally we're like a week removed from a year ago.
And we are well documented how disgusting his display is getting out of Houston, and here we go again. Not too long, Ben Simmons. He finds his optimal situation, right? This is another guy who basically stopped. We haven't seen play this whole year because his feelings got hurt. and like, and the fan base turned their back on him, and the coach threw him on the bus and all that stuff. But he actually found himself in somehow like a bigger market with more low key media than like Philadelphia. So it's a win for him. And then Daryl Morey, right? This is a guy who he has held on to an asset for a good chunk of the season now, where if you go back like a month or two ago, there were people saying that all he was going to get was Harrison Barnes, and he got James Harden for a guy that hasn't played. So it's a win-win-win for all those guys.
It's funny, if you're a Brooklyn Nets fan, you might want to close your ears. And low key, if you're a Philadelphia Sixers fan, you might want to close your ears. But just to piggyback off of you saying how James Harden, throws his little hissy fits to get where he wants to go. His last game as a Brooklyn Net, would you like to hear a quick little stat line?
Oh, please.
4 points on 2 of 11 shooting in 37 minutes. Talk about just mailing it in. And it's funny because on the last pod, I mentioned sometimes you lose them how you got them. And Brooklyn, you got him when he was pouting out of Houston, and you lost him. He was about to do the same thing. I mean, if you look at his numbers the last few games, when James Harden does not want to be somewhere, he doesn't want to be somewhere, and he's going to make it uncomfortable. Now you're starting to see reports roll out that I just saw one before we hopped on right now that KD and Harden apparently were clashing as far as the culture ideals of the team, certain situations. So you're going to start hearing a lot more of this. I expect maybe in the off season for the full story to kind of roll out as far as what was going on behind the scenes.
I think our last episode, we did a pretty good job of, going back and going through the whole Brooklyn side and what led up to this with Harden. But for Brooklyn going forward, you bring in another shooter. You don't have Joe Harris for the year probably, so you bring in Seth Curry, who's become pretty much a gem of an offensive player. Let's be honest, 2 possible first round picks, man. It's with Embiid's health and Harden's attrition. Like, who knows what those could end up being? I mean, like, they could be lottery 9th pick. You know what I mean? And Ben Simmons, when they brought in Harden, you had a lot of that talk, like, how's this going to look? Kyrie's going to want the ball in the hand. Harden's dribble. You're not going to have that problem. If Ben Simmons is the guy that we last saw, he's going to fit in this offense seamlessly with shooters, KD and Kyrie flanking him.
No, absolutely. Like, people are tripping. Me personally, I think I kind of alluded to in our previous podcast, I felt like this was a terrible trade for the Philadelphia 76ers. If not a terrible trade, you talk about a high risk, and I mean a high risk. They better count their lucky stars that they get a championship out of this, because KD is under contract for the next 4 seasons. Ben Simmons under contract for the next 3 seasons. Ben Simmons is young. Whatever happens in Brooklyn, they're going to have a young piece to build around. You may have to go through Brooklyn later on. James Harden isn't getting any younger, So to me, they're really rolling the dice. I would have loved to have seen them ship Ben Simmons out of conference, or maybe not to their direct competition. I actually find this to be a way more ominous big 3 than the other 3, just for flexibility purposes. Having Kyrie play off the ball, having KD off the ball, and having, like you said, like a phenomenal decision maker in Ben Simmons, but also someone who's arguably the best perimeter defender in the league. You know what I'm saying? And they get younger. Man, Brooklyn, to me, I believe Brooklyn won the deal, but it remains to be seen. We'll see what takes place later on. But their lineup is nasty, by the way, in Philadelphia.
So, okay, but I just want to stick with Brooklyn for a minute here. What do you think that closing lineup looks like now? Because
in Brooklyn or Philly?
In Brooklyn. Because I mean, let's say it's going to be what, Kyrie, Seth. I mean, like, for road games at least, I mean, at the optimal. You got Kyrie, Seth, Durant. Do you play Simmons at the 5, and you have like Patty Mills out there too? Like, I don't know who that 5th guy is.
And I mean, this doesn't tell you anything. These media accounts are ran by casuals, but the way they're advertising it, they're just showing up the potential lineup. I'm assuming they're optimal. So on the road, they have Kyrie at the 1, Seth at the 2, KD at the 3. They have Simmons at the 4, and they have LaMarcus at the 5.
Interesting.
I don't know. Do you really want to sit Patty Mills? Patty Mills is probably going to be in the starting lineup at home. I would imagine Patty Mills as a starter at home. And when you go on the road, you know what? I don't think Seth starts. I think
I was
Patty
gonna say
Mills.
it could be Seth too.
I think Seth is coming off the bench. I think they don't want to disrupt. Patty Mills is on fire, by the way. He's been everything they could have hoped for and more. So my guess, you're asking me, I'm gonna assume on the road, Kyrie, Patty Mills, KD, Ben Simmons, and LaMarcus. I believe that'll be their lineup.
Man, this goes back to Ben Simmons, but he's that guy, man. In the modern league, he's pretty much the optimal 5, small ball 5. The problem is we've seen even Philadelphia like kind of experiment with this, but if he commits to like rebounding and like playing some post defense, he is pretty much what they have Blake Griffin doing times 10, right? Because Blake Griffin doing dribble handoffs, a little high post, low dump offs, and then also like just passing and stuff like that and finishing. If you throw Ben Simmons in that slot, and all of a sudden he's taking on the challenge of guarding the best player and then doing all that stuff on offense, it would be really nice if you get him at the 5, I think.
Will he play okay, first things first, we got to address the elephant in the room. Where is Ben Simmons at? I see the reports. I guess he's already flying over to Brooklyn. He's going to be trying to get ramped up. He's saying all the right things. Apparently, he's been in contact with KD. They want to make this work, obviously. If you're Ben Simmons, are we about to get an incredibly motivated Ben Simmons? People have been talking down on your name. Are you about to? Is this the revenge tour?
Oh my gosh. Just wait, dude. First game back. I have a prediction for you, right? First game back.
Talk to me.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be home game, and about 5 minutes into the game or something, he's gonna just pull up top of the key and swish it.
Ain't no fucking way. You think
Twitter explodes, bro?
Oh my! First of all, whatever building that you say, it'll be at home.
It'll be at home.
Oh my goodness. If this fool looks anything like his off-season mixtapes, shooting the ball, because he can shoot the ball, by the way.
I'm telling you, dude.
He can.
Some time away, he's gonna take a 3 a game.
Wow. If damn, I don't like this trade.
Don't let them see Philly in the playoffs.
Well, actually, don't let them see them in a month. They play, if I'm not mistaken, exactly 1 month from today.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be interesting.
It's funny because I know you said Brooklyn won it, and earlier you said like for Philly it's kind of a high risk, high reward type situation.
High risk. And then real quick, apparently James Harden will be opting in to his
I saw that
47, which is a huge detail.
Yeah.
From today. That's a big deal.
That means that there's a wink on the table.
Absolutely.
He's getting paid, bro.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say though is I actually had the opposite reaction to this because long term I think Brooklyn could be a really good deal for them, and it could be really good for them short term as well. But I just don't have as much faith in that team as I do Philadelphia right now. And for the short term, I do think this is a win for Philly. I think, honestly, man, what we were clamoring is, dude, Embiid is playing as good as anybody right now. And if you really look at it, what they did, because Ben Simmons wasn't giving them anything, they pretty much upgraded Seth Curry to James Harden. And I know it's not like the James Harden of like 2-3 years ago, but this is still a really good player. And that's still an upgrade in my account. Seth Curry did a lot of good things for you. It's going to look a little different, but Joel has never had somebody as dynamic in the pick and roll as James, and vice versa for James and somebody in Embiid's caliber in the post. So for a win now move, I'm with it.
You know what? We may see this the same. Like I said, high risk, high reward. I believe Philadelphia has won this trade for the next 25 games of the season. I believe no matter what happens this year, they won the trade. When we jump ball next October, I'm immediately on the Brooklyn side. I'm sorry, immediately.
Really?
Unless Philadelphia wins a title, I believe as soon as they get an offseason with Ben Simmons in that system with Kevin Durant healthy, I'm sorry, they won the trade. We'll have to if you are Philadelphia, you better maximize this because Brooklyn they're weak right now. They just lost another game. They've lost 10 in a row. They haven't won since January.
Yeah.
They're reeling right now. Miami, who knows what they honestly represent. I believe the only threat to Philadelphia right now in the East is Milwaukee. If you can somehow get through Milwaukee, that's a big if. I believe the best player in the game right now is Giannis. But if you can get through that monster, you like your chances.
So your chances. Yeah, that was my next point is, it's crazy because it was kind of Milwaukee and Miami, and then you had some kind of like, floater teams there with Philly, Brooklyn, and stuff like that. But I think
Chicago.
Chicago, yeah. But who knows if they'll ever be healthy, dude? Who knows what's happening there? But for me, this trade honestly vaults Philly up right there with Milwaukee. I would agree with you with that. Because who knows, dude? Could we see Harden, who's been sandbagging it for the last month or something, all of a sudden become like a first-team All-NBA player again?
Scott, we know what happened last year. He had passed up KD for MVP frontrunner. This man, if he would have stayed healthy, if that hamstring, the voters were perplexed because they was like, "Yo, are we really about to vote for this man MVP after what we saw him do in Houston?" If James Harden flips that switch, I'm sorry, they to me are right there with Milwaukee at the end of the day. I have one question though. I know, I talked to my point guard. I'll use my point guard when we hooped in the league. You're a pick and roll guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see Joel really pick and roll heavy. It is a question of fit.
No.
That's not really how he gets his bread and butter. Usually people who do pick and roll are incredibly agile and athletic. He is all the above, but the movements with a pick and roll, Joel doesn't really do. He kind of shies away from it. He pick and pops more than he pick and rolls. I'm not sure if that's a knee situation, but his style isn't really pick and rolling. He picks and pops. He picks and pops. Excuse me.
So my response to you in this question is I think it's going to be a seamless transition, right? And
seamless.
And the reason is he's never had a guy as dynamic as Harden. Not only as a passer, like, yeah, Ben Simmons is a really, one of the league's best passers, but in pick and roll situations, Harden is one of the best ever, right? Hitting the roll, man. Whether it's on a lob, we've seen it with Capella, with Dwight, with whoever you want to put next to him. Also, the shooting dynamic is a big deal. When you have somebody that could come off and hit an open jumper, the gravity, like they can't just double team and beat off that. And he's agile enough. His footwork's agile enough. And the hard thing is, right, and this is, I liked what he had with Curry because it was a lot like what he had with Redick, where you had dribble handoffs, you had curl offs, and he could play it like that. Now, all of a sudden, instead of doing like a dribble handoff, he's just in the screen. It's going to be the same stuff, though.
You know what? I like what you're saying. I don't think he'll really be rolling as much, but he doesn't have to because not only is the shooting a big difference with James Harden from Ben Simmons, James attracts so much attention when he drives to the basket that Embiid is money from 12 feet out. If he just pops up, that's a layup for him. He's not really an aerial threat. Obviously, they'll have some of those, but he's such a well-rounded shooter, and Harden has so much gravity when he goes towards the rim. Bro, Scott, this might be, I was on record last year. I feel like this trade is a year late. I believe Harden should have been in Philadelphia last year. But man, if they can close out this season, I wouldn't be surprised if they end up with the number 1 seed to close out in the East.
And don't get me wrong, dude. Embiid is a post-up heavy guy, and Harden's never played with a post-up heavy guy, right? He's had Dwight Capella, like guys that are set screens consistently, and Dwight wanted to be that, but he just never had the skill set. Embiid's still, this is Embiid's team. Harden is, this isn't a thing. You know, it's well reported last year when he went to Brooklyn, he was the voice. He was the guy pulling people together since he got there, really, because you know KD's not, he's kind of low key. Kyrie's got his third eye thing going on, so it was Harden, dude. That was the voice in that team, and he's going into a place now where it is bona fide Joel's team. Not only the city embraces him, the organization embraces him, and he embraces it as well. So it's going to be really easy for Harden to just go in there and ball, and they got players around him too, dude. Like Thibault, he's still gonna take the best player. Tobias is a very viable night to night scorer. Like, I really want to say they're my favorite, but I can't do it over Giannis yet.
Ain't gonna be able to do it.
This is the main reason, okay? And you told Sixer fans and Brooklyn fans to close their ears before. Sixer fans, are we worried that they're pairing one of this generation's perennial playoff underachievers and James Harden with the coach who's blown more 3-1 leads and Game 7 losses
about to say
in NBA history?
This all sound. I got real quiet when you was going in a little soliloquy there. I got real quiet because I found myself getting a little excited, and I was like, "Oh, they got Doc." I was like, "Oh." I'm gonna be honest with you because I've defended Ben Simmons.
Maybe it's two wrongs make a right, dude. You know,
I don't think
cancel each other out.
I don't think he sat out the entire year. You know, I felt like Doc Rivers should have been fined for his comments. I don't think the organization backed Ben. I think that was out of pocket. But I told you, Scott, was like, yo, people got Ben Simmons fucked up. He can't shoot. But that didn't stop them from having a 22-point lead in multiple games against Atlanta. That was coaching. He should have just got taken off the game. He should have just got pulled. Like, people are like, they were up. Like, he wasn't shooting, and they were up in the second half. So you can win with Ben Simmons not shooting, clearly. But you give them Doc and James. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm gonna be honest with you. Scott, we're about to find out what Joel Embiid is really made of. Because people forget, because when Ben Simmons turned down that dunk and passed it to Thibault, people forget, if I'm not mistaken, Joel Embiid in that game 7 had 8 turnovers. Mm-hmm. He did not have a great game in that game, but he got swept under the rug because we focused on Ben. What is Joel going to do? Are you MVP? If he goes out there and he handles his business, I'm not really worried about James. I think in Houston, I think he was a little too complacent. And I think that's why, you know, some people call him a choke artist, but I just think he was just too comfortable in Houston. The guy that I saw in Brooklyn last year was a problem. If he's healthy, I believe they win the championship. He was a problem last year. I'm sorry. James Harden could not be stopped when he went to Brooklyn. And I believe he's got to prove people wrong. And like you said, this ain't his team. He's coming in. And one thing, I'm going to just cape for our Artesia brother real quick. You know, he's from the crib. This man sacrificed when he went to Brooklyn. People were saying, can he play off ball? Would he be able to fit in with Kyrie and KD? He went in, shot attempts dropped. He started facilitating. Like, he truly did.
I want to push back on that a little bit, though.
Talk to me.
He gave up some shot attempts, but I think his overall style of play, he didn't really sacrifice as much, right? Where I actually feel like Kyrie was the one sacrificing because he became an off-ball guy coming off screens, just playing off ball and being a true 2 guard. And I know you're going to say like, yeah, he's got experience with that with LeBron, but it was different because Harden, I don't know, it was just a different style from him.
Allow me to respond to that. Fam, I'm going to say what I'm going to say, but I'm not going to bring the LeBron thing because it was a completely different role with Harden and KD last year. I'm going to say this. When KD came out, it was Kyrie. I believe he was telling Chuck inside the NBA. He was like, oh, yeah, like we went ahead and James gonna be the point guard. Like I'm gonna give that that role to him. I'll be off. Yeah, no shit, Kyrie. Like James Harden is a point guard, bro. He's a better decision maker than Kyrie could ever dream of being. And Kyrie is a phenomenal point guard, and he can dish the ball. But I think that was a no-shit. Kyrie tried to act like he was gonna move to. Yeah, you kind of have to. You're not on Harden's level distributing the offense. We've never seen Kyrie run an offense ever. James Harden led last year in assists. So to me, it was kind of like and you might be right. I might be right. They both might have quote unquote sacrificed, but still didn't really give. You know what I'm saying? They might have been comfortable both doing what they really want to do. So I'll give that to you if that makes sense. Harden still was pretty much playing his role. He just wasn't shooting as much. And Kyrie don't want to have to pass to other dudes, bro. When you got a handle like that and you got a shot like that, why do I want to pass the ball, bro? Because I'm a thing. When you're as talented as a Kyrie, you're always going to think you're the best option on offense. You're always going to think that. So he went to his natural position.
He's fun, man. He's fun.
He's fun. He's fun to watch. So he tried to act like, I told James, you know what, bro, he does have it. He's a better point guard than you, bro.
Yeah, I get you. I don't know, dude. I think the Philly thing's very interesting this year, and then going forward, like you said, Brooklyn, especially once they add some ancillary pieces, some margin stuff.
They got picks, bro. They got picks. Daryl Morey, how do you go from trying to get everything from everybody and you the one who gives up picks? How did that happen?
I can't be mad at Morey, dude. This is why you moved.
He's in love with James, bro. He's in love with this. This love affair is ridiculous, right? Hey, everyone at home, get you someone that loves you as much as Daryl Morey loves James Harden. This man,
have you ever seen that, dude?
I ain't never seen no shit like this before. This man came out on record talking about James Harden is the best offensive player we've ever seen, better than Kobe, better than KD, better than Michael Jordan. He's that guy. And you know what? I'm like, you know what? Okay, when he was in Houston, it is what it is. If he wants to say that, whatever, depending on what metrics. What had me in this interview is what he said. Oh, yeah, he's always been the best option, even when he was in OKC. They just didn't give him the ball enough. Hold on. Daryl Morey came on the podcast and said, even when he was in OKC, he said, go look at the numbers. Again, analytics. He said he was still accounting for more points per possession, even when he was in OKC. He's the GOAT offensively. That's literally how Daryl Morey feels about this man, James Harden. Even though we've gotten consistent body of work in the postseason of 2 of 19, 3 of 22. Like in the postseason, he's not the same guy. But I digress. I mean, man, this love affair is something special.
Harden want to go there too. You know what I mean? So like, is it?
I would want to go there too.
For Harden, is it the Daryl Morey thing, or is it the Meek Mill thing? I don't know.
Is it the little baby thing? Bro, you can't forget about baby. By the way, real quick, the inner Laker in me, even though I'm down on them, we'll get to them later. How does this not get vetoed? How is this not tampering? That James Harden is best friends with the owner, Michael Rubin, of the Philadelphia 76ers, the connection between Meek Mill and him, like the Daryl Morey how on earth is this allowed? I remember being in high school. I was a sophomore or junior, and I remember getting Chris Paul at 7 a.m, and by lunchtime, the deal was like, what the fuck? How on earth is this deal not vetoed? This is tampering at its finest. And guess what? Everyone across the league seems to be perfectly content. It's only when the Lakers do these moves, you got other owners bitching and complaining. They write letters. You think it'll happen? It needs to.
Somebody's gonna get. It's gonna be an Eastern Conference. It's gonna be Dan Gilbert. Dan Gilbert's gonna complain. Like he's gonna write a letter. I promise. He's gonna go full Karen for this.
Bro, he needs to have a BF. He needs to have a bitch fit. This is ridiculous. I mean, this is legitimately in your face tampering. And the fact that the league is just letting this skate by already solidifies how I view the league. You know, I think it's a phenomenal entertainment game, but I mean, the writing's on the wall here. This is ridiculous.
All right, man. There's some more trades today. I don't know if you know, guys. So, Dallas, they send Kristaps Porzingis to
What
Chocolate City, dude.
what is this about? What
So
is this about?
the Wizards, they get the Latvian gangster Kristaps Porzingis
You did
and
not
his
say that. You did not just say it.
and all of his skinny jeans. Uh, the 2022 second round pick, and they're gonna give up Bertans. So we're going bad contract for bad contract.
You're going foreign white boy for foreign white boy.
And Dinwiddie though. Dinwiddie is the
The
piece.
dude that the people just did not like in Washington. If you guys haven't heard, the teammates just was not fucking with Dinwiddie. I don't know what happened in that locker room, but it was toxic. I don't know what happened there.
I can't. You know what? I can't even blame him, dude. They got Kuzma in their locker room, so who knows what's happening.
No, you know what? That's a fact. That's a fact. That is he Kuzma's he a little different.
So I mean, like, word on the street. I gotta be honest. Before I get to that, I guess my initial reaction was when I saw Dinwiddie get traded. I thought there was gonna be another move happening. I thought it kind of gave Dallas comfort to move Brunson, and I thought that was going to be a domino to fall. But I mean, it never happened. So I guess the word on the street is they did this to pretty much get into free agency a year earlier, because Berton's contract is up a year before Kristaps. Dinwiddie, I believe, isn't expiring, correct?
Yes.
So yeah, they pretty much did this deal trying to get into free agency a year earlier. Always excites me when Dallas is planning for free agency.
Because they're never gonna get anybody.
Haven't seen it once.
Haven't seen it one time in the Mark Cuban era.
If you're Washington, what is this? Like, is this going to convince Bradley Beal to stay?
Real quick, Washington also sent Montrezl Harrell. Might as well get this out the way. They shipped Montrezl Harrell for Vernon Carey and Ish Smith to Charlotte. So back to your question, Scott. does this make Bradley Beal, want to stay? And the answer is no. The answer is no. We're gonna move on from them pretty quick. We're gonna really focus on Dallas on this conversation, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if they offer Bradley Beal that super max, news flash for everyone out there, he's taking it. You don't turn down
4 months later requesting a trade.
He might not. He might not. He might not, bro. Why would you? Bro, no one gives a fuck about Bradley Beal, with all due respect, as far as his legacy. He does not need to win a championship. He's not going to win no MVP. To me, that would be the worst thing, is to give this man a supermax. I think he's a great guy. I hope he gets his coin, from a player's perspective. Get your money. But what the fuck are you doing, Washington, if you offer him that deal? I've seen some reports they may not offer him the supermax. If they don't offer him the supermax, then I really don't know what they're doing.
I'm like, Washington, they need to take notes from their former employee, dude, Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
he didn't give it a Kemba.
Nope.
And it's kind of the same deal here.
That's the smartest thing Michael Jordan has done besides drafting LaMelo Ball, is deciding, bro, I'm not about to sign you to no supermax. I don't know what they're doing, but I think we definitely need to give the attention right now to Dallas. I'm not sure if you saw it earlier, but my goodness, Luka just popped tonight. He dropped 51 points. I mean, he was just doing it all out there tonight. He had 28 at the end of the first quarter. The franchise record for Dallas Maverick is 53 points. Obviously, Dirk's got that, so he almost got the record.
Dirk also has the record for points in a quarter at 29.
Dirk was a monster. Real quick, though, I just want to give this to you. The Mavs record since 2019, 2020, including the playoffs, their winning percentages with Luka and Porzingis was 59%. Mm-hmm. With just Luka, it was 60%. I'm obviously aware that, Cuban's got these numbers. At this point, we might as well just blow it up. Like, it's not that big of a deal.
It's pretty well documented. They didn't like each other, dude. Kristaps and Luka did not get along. And if this is an underlying tone of this too, it could have been a thing where it's like, well, let's just get rid of him. Let's because I mean they did with Carlisle, so why not do it with Kristaps?
Yeah, no, it's a real thing. And I thought that went up kind of under the radar. The fact that Carlisle wasn't trying to retire, he just didn't want to coach Luka no more. To me, that's always going to be a red flag uh, for me. If I'm building a team, but I don't know. The Luka situation's weird. Are they ever going to be able to get someone with him? Like, how are they going to? Because we've
They got
known they've
draft
been
Bronny.
trying to ship Kristaps for. They got draft Bronny. So it's going to be LeBron and Luka and Bronny on the team.
LeBron loves Luka, dude. He was going to be the first signature athlete in the shoe collection.
And Nike said, "Yeah, suck my dick." Nike was like, "We made that mistake and gave Jordan his own brand. You're not about to be another competitor because if LeBron can't get his own line. If he got his own line, Nike's going out of business, bro. It's just not going to happen. It's just Nike learned from their mistakes."
Yeah, so I don't know. Dallas, how many times have we seen they're in the running, they're offering contracts, and nobody has ever picked Dallas, dude.
No, why not? I've heard other NBA players say Mark Cuban is one of the better owners.
No tax,
Like it's no state income tax so you damn near getting the bulk of your contract. It's decent weather. You're a
it's the
quick
uniforms,
flight.
bro. It's the
Oh, the
uniforms,
green ones, putrid.
all of them. If you're a star player, like you just can't see yourself wearing that shit.
Stop it. You gotta stop it. It's just the green one. It's because blue. How bad can you fuck up navy blue, royal blue, and white? You can't fuck it up that bad. But when they start going to go get that emerald green, I don't know what the fuck that is. I'm just it's just oh god, that might be the ugliest jersey in the league.
Yeah, it's not a great one.
But yeah, who knows? Real quick though, who would you like to see in the next couple of seasons? Let's say they may not be available now, but coming up, who would you like to see Luka paired with in Dallas? Because he ain't going nowhere. He gonna be in Dallas.
Who would I like to see him paired
Yeah,
up with?
it doesn't have to be too realistic. It could be semi-realistic, but in the next few years, like who would you like to see him with?
You know who feels like he's going to be a Maverick at some point?
Ooh,
I feel like Paul George is going to be a Maverick at some point.
Interesting.
I just don't think that him and Kawhi are going to last, and I could see that happening. I think that's a realistic thing.
Wow.
If you don't mind, I want to go on to some other trades here.
Absolutely.
We have some time. There was a couple days ago on my birthday, actually. A couple days ago, Kings. This one kind of stole the headlines for at least like NBA Twitter and the underground stuff. Kings.
The streets were fed with this one.
Yeah, they end up shipping out Tristan Thompson, Buddy Hield, and Tyrese Halliburton to the Indiana Pacers. And the Kings get back Jeremy Lamb, Justin Holiday, a second-round pick, and Domantas Sabonis, 25-year-old two-time All-Star. I, for one, Christian, was not surprised. Anytime Sacramento is involved in something, I'm ready, dude. It's like I'm scared of clowns, but they damn sure remind me of a Jack in the Box, where it's just waiting to pop out. Like,
real quick to add to it, they made a trade today. They did acquire Dante DiVincenzo and Trey Lyles and Josh Jackson in another deal that we'll get to a little later. But just to kind of round out, who they've acquired, they do have Dante DiVincenzo as well.
I did want to touch on that trade because I do want to talk Ibaka.
Yes,
but
yes.
Yeah, but for the Sun, the Kings, sorry, I get it. Like, Sabonis is a good player, man. But I just really feel like they're why not keep the younger guy, dude? Tyrese Halliburton is a player that can be on a championship roster right now and start, right? And you bring in Sabonis, who doesn't quite fit the skill set of De'Aaron Fox. And to me, this was like Adam Silver putting in a favor or something, like, hey, Vivek, I need you to do this
Stop.
for me. Because no, honestly, because he's like, listen, I got this play-in tournament. You're right there. You could get the 10th seat, dude. You could get it. You could go and get the 10th seat.
Silver ain't making no coin off of the Sacramento Kings. You need to stop playing.
No, but I'm just saying, like, this is what we're seeing, right? Where we heard they're sellers. We heard they're going to get rid of Barnes and all this stuff and Healed. They're shopping him, but then they bring in Sabonis, and I'm like, what are you doing? Are you really want to get into the play-in that bad?
I mean, I thought it was a bad trade at first. I'm just not that sold on Tyrese Halliburton. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I think he's a really good young talent, like a really good young talent, right? But with their history, I'm looking at the trade closer and closer. Domantas Sabonis is an absolute monster, and he's only 25. He's a beast. You pair him with De'Aaron Fox, the timeline matches a little bit better. Although I don't believe the De'Aaron Fox and Halliburton, I don't believe their developmental process was that far off. You could have shipped Fox and kept Tyrese.
Contract wise,
You said what?
Halliburton. I said contract wise, you'd much rather have Tyrese.
Absolutely. He gives you more flexibility and everything. But I'm looking at this roster. You got what? Fox, DiVincenzo, Harrison Barnes, Sabonis.
Mitchell, yeah, like
I'm looking at their. I mean, we gotta relax. Like,
no, this is why, dude.
Is a very good player. But what is he going to? So, okay, real quick, what is his ceiling? What he going to do in Indiana? What he going to do in Indiana?
He could be the second or third best player on a championship team.
What does that mean? Because to get to a championship team, you got to have other dudes with you. So he ain't gonna do no LeBron lifting.
Okay, so this is he could be an all NBA guy. I 100% believe that, and I think he is going to be an all-star. I think he is going to be all NBA guy in his future. I think he really showcased. This is the problem, right? And a lot of this has to do with fit. When you pair him next to De'Aaron Fox, right? He's only has like a 19 usage rating or something. You could be like, well, what is that? You know, if he's really this great, why is his usage rating so low? But then you look at the time he spent when Fox was out of the lineup and he's averaging 20 and 10, and it's efficient, right? This is a guy that goes out there, he hits open shots, he makes the right play every single time down. He's playing defense. And I think with opportunity, right, and giving him the chance to be the real lead guard, you're going to see real quick that he was the better player than De'Aaron Fox.
But you're not just keeping De'Aaron Fox, though. You're pairing him with Sabonis. So you're not really asking. I mean, your entire franchise isn't just throwing De'Aaron Fox like in his hands. That's not really the situation. It's definitely a pairing. I mean, look, I really like Tyrese Halliburton, but me personally, I don't know. Like, De'Aaron Fox is not a terrible player by any means. I believe De'Aaron Fox could be the third best player on a championship team.
I don't at all. I think he's a bottom half of the league guard, and this year he's been playing even worse than what we saw last year.
A bottom of the really,
yeah,
a bottom of the league guard. Wow. Okay.
He's a starter, but the point guards are so deep, dude, and like this is why Tyrese is so valuable, right? And especially in the modern NBA. And you look at a team like Boston, right? You look at some of these teams out there, and you're like, man, if only they had a guy that could run the ship, right? Run the team, be a real. They need a point guard. Tyrese is one of maybe 5 or 6 true point guards in the NBA.
Like 8 or 9, bro. We got some actual point guards in the league.
You got Chris Paul, like Halliburton,
John
Morant, yeah, but
Trae Young. They can score great, but
Trey.
bro, they're point guards, bro. They're pass first.
Okay, so but that's like 5 right there. So like,
oh, okay, well let's keep going. I mean, he came at me. I was just naming some dudes. James Harden,
different.
he's a point guard.
Different though.
So we're gonna put the guy who's leading the league in assists by, or I think he's second to Chris Paul right now. We just gonna put him to the side.
It's not just like getting assists though. That's not what it is. It's not like, hey, I get 10 assists or else Russell Westbrook's.
No. Westbrook is the only anomaly that can do 10 assists, and we don't consider him a point guard. He the only dude. First of all, I am not going to disrespect James Harden. James Harden can run a ship. He can actually run a ship. I'm not going to disrespect him like that and give him the Westbrook treatment. Westbrook is a special guy. I have never seen a dude get that many assists, and none of us believe he's an actual point guard. He's not a point guard. I don't care if he has 25 assists. He's not a point guard. He's the only dude in NBA history I've ever seen like that, where I'm like, man, he could have 9 assist titles, and we'd be like, he was a 2 masquerading the entire time. But I'm with you. Tyrese is he's top 10 point guard.
All I'm saying is, I think with hopefully Indiana gives him opportunity, because he's still got Brogdon and like Duarte gets burned there.
Hopefully they do give him opportunity, because I'm gonna come for you. So I need him to get all the opportunity in the world, because we're gonna have this podcast and we're gonna revisit this, because I'm gonna ask you some questions. Because let's just be real.
Dude. I have a lot of stock in Halliburton.
So. I know you. I love
it. I'm okay with it.
Real quick though, for any player that's had to play in those conditions, though, we just gonna pour one out for y'all, because how you can even develop in Sacramento with the shit show they've been running, the Luke Waltons of the world, fam, they're a shit show. So to me, that speaks volumes that we've been able to see promise in a Fox, in a Halliburton. But Halliburton, I mean, hey, he got no excuses now, because he's not going to be played by Sacramento. So I'm gonna be looking for him. Is he going to be better than Garland?
I think yes, he will.
One more time. For the people at home, one more time. He gonna be who? He gonna be better than who?
Darius Garland, the DG, first time All-Star.
Darius Garland's gonna be the best point guard in the East in about a season or so. Putting Kyrie to the side, he's gonna be the best point guard in the East. So you're telling me Tyrese got that type of ability to be the best point guard in his conference?
I told you, dude. I really think he could be an All-NBA player.
No, you could be an All-NBA and not be the best point guard in your conference. Dudes can get hurt.
You could be one. You had to be one of the 5 best at your position. Okay. You know what I mean?
Okay, I feel you. Okay. So hold on. What are the point guards in the East? You got Ja, Trey, Kyrie. We're gonna play him to the side, because he's not gonna make an All-NBA if he's playing half the season. So you got Ja and you got Trey. You still got Simmons in the East, and you got Darius Garland. Am I missing anyone?
Harden, Curry.
Harden. No, in the East. Oh, but like All-NBA doesn't.
You said Ja, so.
Oh shit! Man, that's on me. I know my geography, people. It's just I got
Memphis is on the eastern side of the United States, though.
I got too literal with it. I had the map in my head, and I was like, Ja. Okay,
that's on the wrong side of Mississippi. I don't know why they're in the conference.
We not go. As Laker fans, we support Memphis because we don't have these championships without Memphis. We've done some good business with them. Hopefully, Jaws in our sights, but we have done some very good business with Memphis. So we stand Memphis all day, every day on this podcast. But okay, I hope Tyrese becomes that. I hope we got you on record. We'll pull the tape, but I'm definitely looking forward to his progression. They got some dudes over there in Indiana, though. They got some guards, but it looks like they're really trying to kind of give him the keys. I believe they're trying to move off of Brogdon. He's got one more year in his deal, so he'll probably be dealt this offseason. That'll clear up some space there. Buddy Hield, I don't expect to see on this roster going forward in the offseason as well. I believe Buddy Hield and Brogdon will be off the roster in the offseason. That's going to leave you in a backcourt with Tyrese and Chris Duarte. That's a backcourt now.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with Miles Turner too. I feel like they end up keeping him just because Indiana's never been a team to truly bottom out ever, and so I think they end up keeping Turner, but we'll see. The other trade that day, the Blazers continue their, Chicago Cubs like sell off, and
Oh,
they send out CJ McCollum, end up going to New Orleans. Not just McCollum though, man. New Orleans picking up Larry Nance Jr. and Tony Snell for Josh Hart, Akil Alexander Walker, Sadaransky, Lazada. I don't know how to say his name. I'm sorry.
Didi,
Sorry, Pelicans
Lazada.
fans.
Lazada.
And they had 2 pick swaps and another pick in there too.
Aaron.
Yeah. Sorry, Lazada.
All right, I'm ready.
For the Pelicans, man, do you like the CJ McCollum fit? Do you like the acquisition?
I love it. I absolutely love it. Why not? I'm not gonna be mad at that. They're New Orleans. You got to do something. Like
I felt the same way. I was kind of like, why not just fuck it, right?
Fuck it, bro. What, bro? Come on now. It gets to a point when you know who you are. You know what this trade tells me? They know who they are in the league. They ain't shit. And they're like, we got to shoot for the stars sometimes. And we got to get some niggas here. Excuse my French. We got to get some dudes here.
Definitely not shooting for the stars because in my book, CJ McCollum has been the epitome of good but never great. He's kind of the poster boy for this.
You ready for a hot take right now?
Blaze it up.
With all due respect to Dame Dollar, I believe there's 2 players on this team that will end up being better players than Damian Lillard. And I believe Brandon Ingram and Zion will have better careers than Damian Lillard. So potentially, he could be one of these 2 dudes. He's like, this is the best talent he's ever been playing with. With all due respect to Damian Lillard, Zion is a better player. Zion is already a better player. I'm not crazy. I'm not stupid. What Zion did last year, I know a lot of dudes got short memories. He was unguardable. This dude was putting up Shaq-like stat sheets, shooting 60% from the floor, over 27 points per game. He was an unstoppable force. If he can stay, that is a big, if the if is just as big as he is, by the way. If the man can stay healthy, he's a better player than Damian Lillard. Don't get it fucked up. And I know you're low on Brandon Ingram. Get this man in a situation. Don't let Brandon Ingram go to a team. Don't let them turn into a team. If this Pelicans team can turn into something, they're going to make noise. Next year, I got them a top 5 seed. I got them a top 5 seed next season. Book it.
Do you think there could be a little bit of issue because we look at the Ingram and Zion, and I feel like I'm higher on Ingram than I put out there.
Okay, talk to me. Oh, I need to hear this then. I need to hear this.
Well, because he's done a really good job of progressing, like in a playmaking sense, right? He's kind of taken on that role, especially on that team where he's kind of the lead ball handler in a lot of sense. Now that Lonzo's gone, from what I've seen, like he still makes the game a little too hard on himself. So he's just got to kind of simplify things, and I think he could really shine, especially once he starts winning. But what's weird is we kind of have that talk where is Ingram, Zion, like, is that a great fit, right? It was like a low key thing. Now you throw in McCollum, who's another, just at this point of his career, he's a shooter, man. He's not really facilitating, you know what I mean? So you're throwing in another guy that's just gonna have the ball in his hands and not really make too many guys better with his passing or his dribble, stuff. So I'm like, could that be problematic for them as well?
Potentially, I think you brought up a lot of great points there. I would say to go to the BI and Zion chemistry, I believe that's what you're alluding to. I actually think CJ McCollum is a great vet for those 2 guys. I think he could be someone that can be a calming voice in that locker room. I don't think it's going to be an issue with shots because I believe when CJ gets around BI and he sees him in practice, you know, when the dude's next. BI is special. Like, I don't think there's going to be an issue there. CJ does not strike me as a dude who doesn't have a great sense of self. I've heard him talk on podcasts. He's always been the underdog. You don't get to where first of all, he shouldn't be in the league. He shouldn't. His story and his path going to the mid-major. This guy is a dog. He's a fighter, but he knows who he is as a basketball player. And he's got an incredibly high IQ. I believe this is just what the doctor ordered. This is the best move the Pelicans have made in a long time. They need a vet. They need a dude in there who's kind of been there. He's been to the Western Conference Finals, and he can get in BI's ear. I believe he's going to pay dividends to Brandon Ingram because CJ's had to play second fiddle to Dame. Who knows what Zion's going to be? BI might need to be the Chris Middleton to a Giannis. And who better in his ear than a CJ McCollum letting him know your time is going to be here. Zion's not taking perimeter shots. In the postseason or when the game is close, pick your spots to be great. And I believe that's what this could be. Because Zion is still the best player on that team, but pick your spots, BI. And I love this deal. This is for next season, though, for me. But
actually, it could propel them into the play-in. Like we were talking about Sacramento, this could be another team that makes a deal to propel them into that top 10 seed.
No, they've been balling of late. I know CJ McCollum in his debut tonight had 15 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists.
Didn't shoot well though.
Did not shoot well at all. But this is gonna get interesting with them. They've been winning some games, but I'm going to say this. I don't think you really want to see them in a play-in situation because CJ's been in big moments. CJ could erupt for 50 points on a given night. Let's not get CJ fucked up either. He could erupt. I've been low on him when the moments call for it. But at the end of the day, I think I'm more so just down on Damian Lillard. I don't believe Dame was ever truly that guy in the first place. And I think it kind of exposed CJ for what he was. But I don't think Dame was ever that guy. So I think now that CJ's around those guys, I believe he's going to definitely be a difference maker. I'm excited for them, though. I'm very excited.
They're going to be a fun team to watch because they're going to score a lot of points. But man, this final score is going to be like 151, 145 and stuff because
they win 50 games next year. They're my league pass of the year. They're my league pass team next year.
We'll see, man, 50. Because they got to start playing some kind of defense before I give them 50 wins.
You know what, Scott? You're going to like this. About a decade ago, we were chilling, we were vibing. A little bit more than a decade, potentially. It was when the Lob City era, about a decade ago. You was like, man, as athletic as Blake Griffin is, how on earth is this man not averaging at least a block a game? Now, we know he got dinosaur. He got T-Rex arm. He got small arms. But Jesus Christ, and when you can jump out every single gym on the face of the planet, give me one block. Zion, I hope they get people around this guy. He needs to be focusing, and he needs to be an all-NBA defender. He's got all the capability in the world. He's got the quick twitch. He's got the second jump. There's no reason why this man cannot be an all-NBA defender. There's zero reason. If they can get the right people around him, I mean, I don't want him to leave New Orleans. I'm going to be honest with you. I love Zion. I'm a very big fan.
You don't think like his blowout with the Nike and Duke kind of like scared him from lateral movements?
Man, it would have scared me putting on a sneaker again, to be honest with you. I don't know how you feel confident putting on another pair of shoes after that. I might need some therapy because who the hell like you want to talk about, I'm going to get a little off key real quick. You want to talk about like we're all human beings, right? You want to talk about not being able to relate with someone. Who can he go and talk to who's blown out of a shoe before on a court?
He ask Andrew that time I crossed him up.
Oh, I knew you were gonna say.
Hey, shout out my boy.
Shout out number 25. Shout out number 25. Oh my God, no, Zion's a freak. Hopefully he takes it serious and he can get his situation together. But if he's able to stay in New Orleans. I'm looking over in Memphis and seeing what Ja is doing. And you see what LaMelo was doing, revitalizing the Charlotte fan base. I really hope you see what Giannis did. There's no reason why Zion cannot be that guy. There's no reason.
All right, man. I think that's pretty good, dude. If we'll see 50 wins, book it. All right.
Book it. You heard it here first.
Halliburton All NBA and
okay.
and the Pelicans win at 50.
Which one's more likely, Scott? Give it to me right now.
Tyrese.
Nay, no. I love it. Stick to your guns. I love it.
You ain't getting this anywhere else, people.
Ain't no fucking way.
Hit the subscribe button. All right. So another thing I want to hit on before we close out, like kind of this trade deadline deal here. Some marginal moves, you know what I mean? But with some really big players, right? I think Ibaka going to the Bucks is a huge deal. And the other thing is the Suns, they pick up Torrey Craig for pretty much nothing. And they kind of shore up that backup point guard for bringing in Aaron Holiday again for cash.
He said again for cash.
Pretty much nothing, dude. They didn't give up anything.
No, just like basically the Milwaukee Bucks with a Serge Ibaka deal.
They do give up DiVincenzo, and that kind of hurts their guard versatility. They were kind of using. He was definitely a player, especially in the playoffs last year. But Ibaka,
he wasn't though. He got hurt. Remember? He didn't play in the. That's why they traded him. This is why you want to stay healthy, because the minute a team is able to look and see what they don't need, he missed the entire postseason last year. That's what made him expendable. So I was already kind of waiting on that trade for him to dip out of there because he's a really good player. 2K, if you guys are 2K players, apparently he's the greatest defender in the world. It doesn't make any sense to me, but Ronnie 2K got to fix that. But no, that's nothing. I'm sorry. They already won a title without the guy. He played in 0 playoff games. They gave up nothing.
What do you think about Ibaka going there? No, I think
I think that is huge because Lopez has been hurt this season. That it may not rear its head in the regular season, but you gonna need some bodies if you got to go through that man Joel Embiid. If you guys know his Twitter handle, this man is an absolute man amongst boys. And
I was gonna say, like, man, Ibaka, like, he was struggling early in the year pretty heavily, where he was looking slow. He just didn't look like himself. But of late, he's looking pretty good, dude.
Yeah, because he know what time it is. He know what time it was.
And I love it, man, because in Milwaukee, all you gotta do, dude, is protect the rim and stand on the outside, and you're gonna get 8 to 10 points, you know, like easy. So I think it's a role for him that he could really seamlessly fit in, and I think it could pay dividends. You know, we see Philly get better, we see Brooklyn get better, Miami's still strong. These marginal moves, when you're talking about at the top, can make a huge difference.
Absolutely. We haven't really discussed the Clippers, but they was also involved. They got Rodney Hood and Semi Ojeleye, and the Pistons got Marvin Bagley III. So Marvin Bagley's dad finally got his wish. His son got traded. I'm not sure who said this, but someone I know has said this about Marvin Bagley. They said before you burn bridges and you want to like basically shit on the team that drafted you, be careful, because the team that drafted you always has the most invested in you, you know? Mm-hmm. So it'll be really interesting to see what he does in Detroit with that young crew, with Sadiq Bey and Cade Cunningham over there in Detroit. But for the Clippers, this team is so ridiculous. This team is absolutely stacked. They're already my preseason favorite to come out the West next season. They've added.
This is your second. This is your second. No, this is actually your third prediction for next year in this podcast.
Man, because this season's over. The way I look at it, this season's already fried, bro.
Really? Because to me, today was kind of like a rejuvenation.
Of
like
what?
A brand new year.
Man, please. Anyway, next season. I mean, it's hard to say this isn't the best roster. I wouldn't have it as number one just because their two best players are injury prone. But health aside, I would say it's the best roster in sports, best roster in the league. The Norman Powell acquisition I mean, from top to bottom, they can go small, they can go big. This team, I'm just glad their two best players are not going to be there this season because they're stacked. They're absolutely stacked, and the West isn't as strong as it has been. And if I believe only one of them, if Kawhi or Paul George was there, Paul George showed me a lot. We crack jokes. He's pandemic P, but he showed me some things last year in the postseason when Kawhi went down. He got into the Western Conference Finals and took Phoenix to 6. They got depth, man, and they got dudes that can put the ball in the hole and they can defend at a high level. So Luke Kennard, he's a sniper. Reggie Jackson, this dude is skipping up the court just to beat the shit out of the Lakers with a backspin, baseline, game-winning layup. They just
That
got
shit was
confidence.
disrespectful, dude.
Absolutely disrespectful. But when you got it, Scott, you got it. And he knew he had it. He saw Russ in front. He was licking his chops. I'm be honest with you. I've been watching basketball for 20 years. I ain't never seen no shit like that. If you guys have not seen this,
Not even
go
Curry.
and look. I have never seen no shit like this. Go look and see when the Clippers played the Lakers. It was a Clipper home game.
Like a
Reggie
week
Jackson
ago, right?
about a week ago. This man is bringing up the ball on the left side of the court. Who was guarding him? It was Reeves, but he saw that Russ was going to come over for some side help. They force him to the corner. Russ overplays. Reggie Jackson does a spin maneuver, takes one dribble, and lays the ball up and has a game winner. The man was skipping up the court. That is the second most disrespectful game winner I've seen. LeBron against Toronto in the 2018 semifinals or Eastern Conference Finals. This man brings the ball up. He's kind of skipping, and this is the game where LeBron goes to the left side of the court, jumps up, and floats a bank shot from the side of the court. It looked like a horse shot, if you will. Still the most disrespectful game winner I've seen. But Reggie Jackson, Mr. October, LeBron was tweeting about it. That's Mr. October right there. Reggie's a monster. This team is stacked, but if you're a Clipper fan, you got lots. Not really, but I don't know. They got bad luck. So,
man, you mentioned them. I think it's time we get into it.
Oh my goodness!
We need to talk about the Lakers, dude.
Don't do this to me, Scott.
They stand pat. They don't make any moves at the deadline. To me, it's not very surprising. To a lot of people, they don't know how you do anything. I saw the Pelinka memes, like this man's been frozen and all these different things. But they played the Portland Trailblazers, I believe yesterday, right? Or the day before, maybe. No Dame, no CJ, AD and LeBron out there, and they fumble it, dude. AD gives them nothing in the fourth. Quotes coming out of camp. This is rock meat bottom.
Guys, I watched that game last night. Excuse me, in its entirety. And I just gotta say, the way I look at it, season's over. The season's done. I don't care about a play-in. This team is lacking a lot right now. It's lacking a lot. There was no Russell Westbrook out there. There's a play at the end of the game. We were already, I believe, down by 3, 105, 102. They had an opportunity to get a defensive rebound and force the game. I mean, they would have had time on the clock to go down and get another possession. And there was not a Blazer within 15 to 20 feet of this rebound. And it went right across Anthony Davis' face. He never jumped for the ball. Scott, I'm telling you right now, and everyone at home listening, I was so mad. My heart broke last night. Usually I'm used to April is when you realize if the season's over or not, if you're going to make the playoffs. I had that reality in early February that the season is done. I'm going to give you some winning percentages real quick. Our winning percentage with Russell Westbrook, is 47%. Our winning percentage with Anthony Davis is 45. We know Russ's issues. I've been saying, Scott's, been very vocal. It's not a good fit. Anthony Davis is absolutely dog shit.
He's got I can't give him that because when I look at him, I see zero dog. So bullshit maybe, but I see zero dog in that guy. I don't know what it is, dude. The bubble, he was astounding. To me, he just seems like one of those guys. If he's not playing for anything, he ain't playing, and he's just not. He's never gonna have a motor to want it. You know what I mean? And so if you're Laker Nation, you gotta
He's got to go.
He's got to go, dude.
He's got to go. I don't see if, ands, or buts. Yusuf Nurkic had 15 points at half. Anthony Davis had 5 points and 5 rebounds at half. And I know we've got LeBron James out here. A lot of people still think he's the best player on the team. He is. He's not supposed to be. I don't think people remember what the Lakers camp was saying in the preseason and at the start of the season. You had Rondo, you had Dwight, you had Carmelo, you had LeBron, you had all the mainstays and the figures coming out and saying they've been telling Anthony Davis this is his team going forward. He's that guy.
He don't want it, dude.
Rob Pelinka, we're going to get to him later. I don't want to discuss him right now. Because when you're a GM and you're thinking that your 28-year-old, 27-year-old is going to be in the running for Defensive Player of the Year and an MVP, I don't care what pieces you put around him. When Anthony Davis has put that amount of trash on tape, there is no role player you could have put on this team that would have honestly had this team be a championship contender with the way that Anthony Davis has played. LeBron is declining. For everyone that does not see, the man was gassed last night. It was a back-to-back, and he was gassed. And Anthony Davis went ghost. He was nowhere to be found.
This can't be fun for LeBron, man. He's been in so many big games. Going through this cannot.
This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous because show me a team. We saw Shaq, we saw Kobe, we saw Steph, we saw Kevin. We've seen dynamic duos in the league. I don't give a shit about role players. I don't give a shit about Malik Monk, Austin Reed. Those are the details that can cost you a championship once you're in the finals. Not if you make the playoffs. When you're top heavy, what? I don't give a damn about THT not performing. There is no reason why you're going to tell me right now that the Lakers are 5 games under 500. And we're going to look at Pelinka for the role players that he went out and got. Oh, Trevor Ariza isn't doing what we... Well, guess what? Anthony Davis isn't half what we thought he would be. People do not understand this. For the casuals listening out there, and I say that affectionately because you guys drive the sport. You guys are the reason why we can even have a YouTube channel. The casuals, we love you guys. I'm going to give you guys some game right now. When you build a team and you are top heavy, your top heavy performers are supposed to carry, at least in a regular season.
In basketball, yeah.
In basketball, they can get you a top 4 seed in basketball. The ancillary pieces is the difference between maybe getting swept in the finals, maybe going game 7 in the conference final. Those are the little details right there because road players typically play better at home in the postseason. But in the regular season, there's no team in NBA history that you can bring me with 2 top 10, top 5 players that couldn't make the playoffs. Go find me one. Go find me one. This is an embarrassment. Anthony Davis came back from injury because we bullied him for 3 months and was putting up all these ridiculous numbers, not facing one center. He didn't face one real center in his 4 games back. He faces half of a center in Yusuf Nurkic, and he took his lunch money.
So I didn't watch the full game, but I did catch the second half, and I think he he was in there most of the fourth. I want to say he played at least 8 minutes.
No, he played 9 minutes.
He played 9 minutes. Okay. Bro, he didn't do a damn thing. He was motionless. He wasn't aggressive. I don't know if he took a field goal attempt, in all honesty. I don't know what his deal is. If the Lakers have a lot of problems, man. They have a lot of problems. And I can't help but feel bad for LeBron. Like, even as a Laker fan, and it sucks for us, sure. But like, I feel really bad for LeBron. Because the Westbrook thing, if you don't mind, I want to get to the Westbrook piece in this.
Hold on, real quick before we get, because I need you to go in on Westbrook. Anthony Davis on Tuesday against the Greek Freak took 10 shots.
Yeah, Giannis. People are hunting him. Giannis destroyed him, dude.
Absolutely ripped him to pieces. Last night, he took 11 shots.
I think it's a thing where they know the king is wounded, and they're going for kill shots, dude. And people are going at AD, and he's just not answering the bell, dude.
This man literally did not take one shot in the fourth quarter. By the way, this was the first time since 2015 for Anthony Davis that he did not attempt a field goal, a shot in the fourth quarter. He played 9 minutes and 3 seconds and didn't attempt one shot. LeBron came in to the fourth quarter with 14 points. He finishes with 30. Gas had nothing left. I'm gonna let you go.
After that game, a lot of interesting comments coming out from LeBron, but Westbrook, pretty much, he's been getting benched late in games, for turning the ball over, not hitting shots, not playing defense. And he came out the quote and he said, I deserve to be in these closing lineups. I've done enough. I have a lot of respect in this league. I don't have the exact quote of me, but I'm paraphrasing here. Pretty much that he's got respect and he's earned the right to be in the closing lineups. But man, I just don't think this guy gets it in this league, and on the Lakers especially. It's, what have you done for me lately? And this year he has been dog shit. Like, I could use dog. He's dog for sure, but he's a dog. He's been dog shit this year, and it begs the question. He kind of put war, to Vogel. I think you said it like that.
Oh no,
like,
he declared war.
He declared war. So if you're the Lakers, like, what are you doing with him at this point? Like, do you give him the John Wall treatment? Do you just send him home? Like, hey, you're not liking it here. We're not liking you here. Let's just, let's go ahead and sit out, stay healthy. We'll figure something out in the summer.
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know if you want to get the value up, but I mean, it's not halfway through the season. We only have 24 games left. So essentially he's played in like 54. That's enough of a sample size. But I feel very confident you can shut him down. I don't believe it'll affect his trade value whatsoever. Real quick, because we needed a third option. Malik Monk and Russell Westbrook have the same amount of games this year with 20 or more points and shooting 50% from the field. They both have 13 games like that. Mind you, Monk just now starting in the last 3
years. He started playing, bro. Vogel wasn't even playing this cat.
He wasn't playing. And I said it early in our podcast. I said, this man needs to be in the starting lineup. Over his last 4 games, Russell Westbrook, he's shooting 27.5% in his last 4 games. He's 2 of 13 from 3 in that span. This is what we're getting from him. In the month of February, he has 14 made shots. He's got 14 turnovers.
It just looks uncomfortable, man, because in his heyday, Westbrook could blow by anybody. There was nobody that could stop him from getting into the lane, right? And that's when you see those little jump passes for threes, and that's how he stacked up assists as a shooting guard. But like, he can't get by anybody anymore, bro. Like, when you're watching him, like, I've seen Big switch on him and he can't get by the Big. And I'm like, this is a whole. He's being forced to play basketball for the first time in his career, right? It's not just, hey, I'm faster, I'm bigger, I'm stronger, and I can jump over you. He's forced to play basketball, and he's not making that adjustment, and it looks uncomfortable. He looks hesitant. He looks like he lost his confidence, and it sucks to see like these great players that are going to go in the Hall of Fame. It sucks to see them go through like these adjustment periods, and it really sucks watching him do it because I don't know how he's going to do it because he's never taken the time to learn how to play the game.
Scott, you made a great point. I know we've been incredibly savage, or at least I have tonight, but I'm going to say this. Russ, you don't deserve anything from this Lakers team. You're not entitled to a damn thing. The greatest player of all time, in my humble opinion, is LeBron James. When we got this man, they had murals of him in downtown Los Angeles. People defaced him. They were tagging on him,
You're not Kobe.
him. You're not Kobe. What have you done for us? Russ, you're supposed to be in tune with the community. You should know this better than anybody. You got to produce here. You got to. LeBron delivered the goods. He delivered the goods. For him to sit up there, Russ, and say what he's saying, it's a slap in the face to every Laker fan out there. I don't know. First of all, just to show you how classy we are, this nigga should have been booed months ago.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like he's talking about like stuff he does for the community, and nobody's talking about that, dude.
No one's talking about that. No one said he was a bad guy. But when they ask you, Russ, how does it feel to be from Los Angeles and you hear the home fans booing you? When you come out and say it's a sign of respect, what the fuck does that mean? When you said that the sun still rises tomorrow and I'm a blessing to others, no one said anything about you being a blessing or you being a good dude. We're talking about your play. But you know what? He has to defer and he has to switch the topic because guess what? His play is indefensible. And he knows it. He knows. Vogel, I don't care if Vogel benches him the rest of the season. Vogel stuck by this man for 50 games.
He gave him plenty of chances.
When they asked him in the beginning of the season, they were like, what are you going to do with Russ? He said he's learning. You got to give this man some time. He defended this man for months. Low-key to a detriment. Vogel's going to get fired. Vogel will not be back next year. Like, for him to say what he said about Frankie V last night or the other night, saying that it's hard to get a rhythm because you don't know when you're going to be pulled out and everything's sporadic and the coaching staff doesn't know what they're doing. I'm paraphrasing, of course. When this man was defending you for the last 4 months, come on now. He's going to be out of a job. He's going to be, that is a championship coach that you're talking about.
Done a lot of winning in this league between here and Indiana.
This man took LeBron James with Paul George to Game 7 in the Eastern Conference Finals. Frankie V, me personally, I don't believe he was the man for the job. We got a title with him. That's a different pod for another day. But he damn sure he demands more respect than what Russell Westbrook showed to him. Because for one thing to say about Frankie V, he's a classy dude. He's a very classy guy. And he takes all the criticism and he has the hardest job in sports.
Yeah.
So coach LeBron James, I don't care if you're under a rock somewhere. When you coach LeBron James, you age. It's not easy.
They all get the blame too.
They all get the blame. LeBron gets all the credit when they win, and when they lose, they get the blame. He deserved better than that the other night. Russ is wrong for that. That is a championship caliber coach. And Laker fans, when we see Vogel out, he's always got a beer on us. Him, Phil Jackson, like Pat Riley, he joins that group of coaches for Lakers that have won a championship. That's a big deal. Yeah. You don't disrespect that.
I don't know, man. I don't have much. I feel like I've exhausted my breath on Russell Westbrook. I hope the next time I really talk about him is he's found a role that suits him somewhere else. But I hope I don't have to talk about him anytime soon. So, Russ, don't make these stupid comments, bro.
It's a bad look, man. People forget. Allen Iverson was fresh off of averaging 27 points per game, and he didn't want to change his role when he got traded to the Detroit Pistons, and they traded him to Memphis Grizzlies, and he was out the league. People don't understand. Allen Iverson was averaging 27 points for his career at the time, but he didn't want to adjust, and his game was aging, and he had to retire. No one wanted him.
That was
Russ,
quick.
you should take a good look because AI had way more left in the tank than you currently do right now. He was out of the league, fresh off of averaging 27 points.
That's the tough part, dude. I think I texted you this. Like, he's got Carmelo on the team. He's got Dwight
Dwight,
on the team. Like, he's got guys that have done it. Like, and he just, I don't know. Then it's got his way, and that's it, dude. Why
and
not?
it's sad because he didn't work on his game. You alluded to it best. He was so used to being the most athletic dude in the league. He doesn't have a floater. He doesn't have a mid range. He didn't work on perimeter shot. Look at Derrick Rose. Look at
Bro,
Derrick Rose.
he can't even really
Derrick Rose.
run like the pick and roll very well. Like,
No, Derrick Rose right now is a better caliber player for a playoff team. Derrick Rose used to be able to jump over the world. Look at how he improved his jump shot. Look at how he improved in the pick and roll. He worked at
his
his
pace.
game, his pace. You got to work. You got to put the work in. And you see that his athleticism has declined. And now that he's not the superior athlete on the court every night, you see what he's left with. It's sad. We've all seen Space Jam. It looks like the Monstars came down and zapped that fool. It's sad. I loved Russell Westbrook. He was my favorite player in the league when Kobe retired. He was my
Mm.
favorite player. I like the mentality. I like that dog. But when you start making comments like the way he's making, that to me is more offensive than his play. That's a professional at that point. Like, I'm over it, man. Season's over. I'm going to just tell the fans real quick. Guys, I went out, got a 6-pack, and had a couple beers last night because season's over. Don't even watch Lakers anymore. It's a wrap. Put your head in the sand. Don't just take care of your mental health. Take care of your mental health and stop watching.
In about a month, you can watch LeBron pass Karl Malone, second all-time points. But
oh, by the way, in
if it's
2 games,
go ahead. Yeah.
In 2 games actually, because he was 76 points behind the all-time points, and he dropped 30. So he's 46 points away from combining the playoffs and regular season for most points ever. He's 46 points away. So if you want to watch that, maybe he drops 46, tomorrow or whatever. But in the next 2 games, no one in the history of the game will have scored more points than LeBron Ramon James in the playoffs and the regular season. So if you want to watch that, you got that as well.
All right, man. Gonna wrap it up with LeBron and his gonna be what 5-0, 6-0 as an all-star captain.
This is gonna be 5-0. That team is the nastiest team. KD is trash. I love Kevin, but that team is not it, bro. That team, LeBron. Oh my goodness, as a GM, this team, you want to give him the team, Scott? Give him the team. Give the starters out.
Oh man, you got LeBron running out there with the Greek Freak, the Human Torch, DeMar DeRozan, and Jokic, as LeBron calls him, the wild card.
Oh my! The Human Torch, for those that don't know, is Stephen, Wardell, Curry. For those that don't know,
that's nasty, dude.
That is a nasty 5. That is the most disgusting 5. And then he also got Chris Paul on his team,
and by the way,
and Luka. Like, what?
And Harden.
And he's got. Oh my goodness! And Darius Garland. For people that don't know, the All-Star game has gotten a lot more competitive lately. It is in Cleveland.
Not
He
this
got
year.
Chris. He got Chris Paul and Jimmy Butler on that team with Giannis, who plays the hardest out of anybody. They gonna blow out Kevin Durant, by the way, in Cleveland. They're gonna blow him out. I expect LeBron James to win All-Star MVP in his hometown and tie Kobe and Bob Pettit for the most All-Star Game MVPs and bring that beautiful trophy to LA. The trophy is gorgeous, by the way.
We'll talk to you guys again before then, though.
Absolutely.
All right. Anything else for him?
Absolutely not.
All right. Cool. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you talking with me, Christian. And we'll see you soon.